This story goes back to 1950, when the dirtiest conflict in Bollywood began. Some journalists published such false and damaging news about India's greatest actress that the government even advised her to carry a gun for protection. It was the first time a boycott happened in Bollywood. I'm talking about one of the greatest actresses in the world, Madhubala. Yes, the same Madhubala from Mughal-e-Azam, whose films set records everywhere. Her beauty was said to be so extraordinary that cameras couldn't fully capture it. Even the President of Pakistan once visited a film set just to see her. But what happened that the entire industry turned against her? Why was she called unlucky? How was a 17-year-old girl cast in an adult-rated film? And what tragedy in her life led to such a painful death that hearing about it shakes the soul? And most importantly, who was the biggest villain in Madhubala's life story? In 1949, the film Mahal was released. This film completely changed Bollywood. It was one of the first films to present the horror genre in such a unique way, and it became one of the highest-grossing films of the year. And the reason behind its success was Madhubala. But wait, how did a poor girl who couldn't even afford food at home reach such heights? Madhubala wasn't originally named Madhubala. Her real name was Mumtaz Jehan Begum, born to Ataullah Khan. Her family was extremely poor. Her father moved to Delhi in search of work and drove a rickshaw just to survive. Her sister later revealed that they didn't even have slippers to wear. The family struggled for basic survival, wandering from studio to studio, sometimes without food, sometimes sleeping on the streets. But bad times don't last forever. Mumtaz loved singing and dancing, and seeing her talent, her father decided to use it. When they were still in Delhi, a saint once predicted that she would become a very famous person one day. Her father began taking her to auditions everywhere, even when she had no shoes to wear. Eventually, her hard work paid off. At just 7 years old, she got a job at All India Radio, where she used to sing. Imagine a 7-year-old child earning money to support her family. Everything seemed to be going well until someone noticed her who would change her life. One day at All India Radio, Rai Bahadur Chunnilal, the father of composer Madan Mohan, saw her talent and said, "She is very talented. You should take her to Bombay." Her father followed that advice. Soon, the whole family moved to Bombay, leaving behind everything in Delhi, their home, their life, and even the people they loved. Among them was a boy named Latif, her childhood friend in Delhi. It's said that when Mumtaz was leaving Delhi, she gave Latif a rose as a symbol of love. Latif kept that rose safely. When the family reached Bombay, Mumtaz got a job at Bombay Talkies, thanks to Chunnilal, who worked there as a studio executive. Soon she got a role in the film Basant, 1942. The song she performed became a huge hit across the country. And do you know how much she was paid for it? 150 rupees. Devita Rani, the owner of Bombay Talkies, was amazed at how such a small child could deliver such powerful expressions. But things soon took a turn for the worse. Work stopped coming again, and the family returned to their earlier struggles. Then disaster struck. A massive explosion happened in Bombay Harbour, and while Mumtaz and her family were watching a movie, their entire house was destroyed. They lost everything. But Mumtaz didn't give up. She continued auditioning and eventually got a job at Ranjit Movie Tone for 300 rupees per month. As a child artist, she acted in many films like Mumtaz Mahal, Dhanna Bhagat, Rajputani, Phoolwari. She became one of the first successful child stars, known as Baby Mumtaz. But she didn't want to remain just a child actress. She wanted a lead role. Then came the moment that changed everything. Director Kedar Sharma was making his dream film Neel Kamal. After tragic circumstances and production issues, he decided to cast Baby Mumtaz as the heroine, Raj Kapoor as the hero. The producers doubted the film because both actors were debutants and withdrew their money. But Kedar Sharma believed in them so strongly that he sold his own land to finance the film. Finally, Neel Kamal released, and it became a huge success. People were stunned by Mumtaz's performance and beauty. Devika Rani then told her, "Your name Mumtaz doesn't match your beauty." And that's when she gave her the name Madhubala. After that, films started coming one after another. But the movie that changed everything was Mahal, 1949. It was a massive blockbuster and introduced horror cinema to Indian audiences. After this film, Madhubala became one of the biggest stars in India. Directors said she was incredibly hardworking. She would travel by train to film sets and give hours of retakes without complaining. Soon, she became the highest paid actress in India. International magazines even published her photos, calling her the greatest star in the world. She even received Hollywood offers, but she refused them. At that time, there was hardly anyone who hadn't heard of Madhubala. But then, problems began. Many of her films started failing, and behind many of those decisions was her father Ataullah Khan, who controlled her career strictly. He signed films without thinking, only looking at the money. One film, Hansate Ansu, received an adult 18+ certificate, even though Madhubala herself was only 17 years old. Meanwhile, Hollywood director Frank Capra wanted to bring her to Hollywood, but her father refused. She lost many opportunities because of his strict control. Soon the media war began. During the shooting of the film Nirala, Madhubala refused to shoot a scene in a dirty pond due to hygiene concerns. The director became angry and told journalists that she was misusing her fame. Journalists began publishing negative stories about her. Soon posters calling for a boycott of Madhubala appeared everywhere. The situation escalated so much that the state government advised her to carry a gun for protection. She even hired bodyguards, becoming the first Bollywood star to do so. Eventually, journalist B.K. Karanjia arranged a meeting between her and the media, ending the conflict. Then came the love story that would change her life forever. During the film Tarana, Madhubala and Dilip Kumar fell in love. Their chemistry was adored by audiences. One day, Madhubala gave Dilip Kumar a rose and confessed her feelings. He accepted. They began dating, and their relationship became one of Bollywood's most beautiful love stories. But her father strongly opposed their relationship. They had to meet secretly. Then came the film Naya Daur. Director B.R. Chopra wanted to shoot outdoors in Madhya Pradesh, but Madhubala's father refused to let her travel due to health concerns. She was removed from the film and replaced by Vajayanthimala. Chopra filed a court case against her for breach of contract. During the court case, her father revealed something shocking. When Madhubala was 9 years old, doctors diagnosed her with a hole in her heart, ventricular septal defect. Then came the moment that broke her heart. Dilip Kumar testified in court in support of B.R. Chopra. Although he said he loved her, he stated that she had broken the contract. That day, Madhubala lost both love and trust. Their relationship ended. Despite everything, she continued working. Then came the legendary film Mughal-e-Azam, 1960. During filming, Madhubala's health was deteriorating badly. She often coughed blood, fainted in heavy costumes, and suffered immense pain. In one scene, Dilip Kumar had to slap her, and he did it so hard that the sound echoed across the set. Still, Madhubala completed the film with extraordinary dedication. Mughal-e-Azam became one of the greatest films in Indian cinema history. Later, she married Kishore Kumar. But soon doctors in London revealed heartbreaking news. She had only 2 years left to live. Despite this, she continued shooting films. Eventually, her health worsened so much that she became bedridden. Her body produced excess blood, and doctors had to regularly remove blood from her body. She avoided looking in the mirror because she didn't want to see her deteriorating condition. During this time, Kishore Kumar gradually distanced himself. He rarely visited her. Only her father stayed with her until the end. On 23rd February 1969, Madhubala passed away. Her death shocked the entire film industry. She was buried at Juhu Muslim Cemetery. Dilip Kumar couldn't even come to see her one last time. It is tragic that the woman considered the most beautiful in the world spent her life longing for true love. Years later, a man visited her grave and placed a rose on it. It was Latif, the childhood friend from Delhi. He had preserved the same rose she gave him when she left Delhi. Madhubala may be gone, but her legacy lives forever. People say cameras captured only 2% of her beauty. The remaining 98% could only be experienced by those who saw her in person. She wasn't just an actress. She was one of the greatest legends in the history of Indian cinema. If this story touched your heart, take a moment to like this video and share it with someone who loves cinema. Legends like Madhubala deserve to be remembered by every generation. And if you want more untold stories from the golden era of Bollywood, subscribe and join this journey of cinema.